Hey, welcome to the Travel Winds podcast. Today, my guest is Viridiana Álvarez. She's an alpinist, as well as an incredibly smart woman with a huge college background, which I hope to get into a little bit. But just a Guinness Book World Record holder. Uh, you've climbed the top eight over 8,000 meters, or tops. You've summited seven.
I summited the 14,
Oh,
the
geez.
14th
Okay.
peak. Yes.
So for the top 14, including Mount Everest, which I hopefully everyone's heard of. But then Kilimanjaro, K2. I mean, the Antarctica one I want to talk about. That sounds fun. Cold, but fun. But how are you today?
I'm good. I'm happy because I just got the news of the new expedition. So every time that is like getting ready for the next adventure, it's very exciting.
And where's the next adventure?
We'll be in Indonesia. It's the highest peak in Oceania. It's in Papua. So that will be the last of the seven summits. That is the highest peaks in each continent.
Okay,
And that's the one that I'm missing. So I'm very excited.
how tall is that?
It's over 4,000. It's not that tall. It's not that high,
Yeah.
but it's a technical climb. It's like rock climbing, and it's quite different. Like if you compare with Mount Everest, it's half of the height,
Yeah.
but it's technical and it's hard to get there because it's in the middle of nowhere and many conflict with the locals, and you had to get there by a helicopter, and it's quite an adventure.
It's a lot to set up just to then hike and get the hike
Yes.
done. So I think that's what's amazing is how much advanced planning do you have for each summit?
How much?
Like how much time do you plan it out? Is it months? Is it weeks?
I started with like with the dream of Everest.
Yeah.
And at that point, it was my goal, and it took me 3 years to get there because of the money, because of the preparation. I didn't know anything about mountaineering. I come from a town that it's no hill, like no big mountains. So it took me 3 years. And after that, I said, okay, Everest is part of the highest peaks in each continent.
Yeah.
And I did Aconcagua as preparation for Everest. So I said, Aconcagua is the highest peak in America, in Argentina. So I was like, okay, I maybe
I get
want to
that one.
go to the next one, right? And the seventh summit, it's quite a challenge because of the places that you have to go, like
Yeah.
Antarctica. Antarctica is super expensive. It's more expensive than Everest, and it was for me. And some of them took me years, and some of them it was like, okay, let's do it. Like Elbrus, that is the highest in Europe,
Yeah.
that is in Russia. So every peak, it has something.
That's crazy. What makes you want to do that? I mean, I've seen some of the documentaries on the climbing, and I'm like, man, doesn't seem like a lot of fun in it.
I know, right?
It's like coming down maybe, but I don't know.
Not even coming down, coming down is where many people die. So it's kind of like, but it's true. If you see the documentaries or the movies, it's all about people who die and people who lose fingers.
Oh
But
yeah.
it's more than that. It's more than a photo in the summit. The summit, it's minutes.
Yeah.
And getting there, like for Everest, it took me 42 days. So it's part of the learning that I said that the big teacher, the master, it's the mountain who teaches be patient, what is important, like breathing. It's something that you don't at home,
Yeah.
you don't think about it.
Yeah.
You just do it, right? And there
That's
at 8,000-meter peak, it's like, wow, like you are just walking very slow, and then you realize that you can live days without food and water. but you don't, if you don't have like
Air.
oxygen, the air, you'll die in minutes.
Yeah.
So it's very important. And so for me, it's about the journey, you know, all the things that happens to get to the summit, to get there. And I don't know, I think every one of us, we have a calling. And for me, the mountains were calling, and like people said, and I had to answer, right? And it started with Pico de Orizaba, that is the highest peak in Mexico.
Okay.
And I just saw a photo in social media, and I said, I don't know why, but I want to go there.
How old were you roughly? I don't want to give away your age, but I mean,
No, no. When I climbed my first mountain, I was 30. Now I'm
yeah,
41.
yeah, that's
So
crazy.
I've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah,
And at the age of 30, you don't expect to be like to become a professional or to break records, and
yeah, yeah.
like I didn't have any expectation at all. I just wanted to go and feel what it's to be on top of a mountain. So um I was asking friends, I was looking in internet, and I found out that one friend was going to Pico de Orizaba, and I said, I want to go. And from that day, in my day one of mountaineer, if I can say that,
Yeah,
I said, wow, if I'm on top of Mexico, on top of the highest peak of, how could it be to be on top of Everest?
yeah.
So that's how I started.
How happy or unhappy was your mom when you told her what you were gonna do?
Big question, big question. You know, the only thing that I don't like of what I do, it's my family.
Yeah,
It's my that I go to expeditions, and even though we have communication with satellite, mobile, and it's always uncertainty,
yeah,
people dying, accidents, avalanches, like many things happening. And my family really, they don't enjoy the expeditions as I do. So, but I've been lucky, and I have all the support of from them. But still,
I can only imagine if my daughter came home and said, "Hey, I'm going to start climbing the world's tallest mountains." Be like, "Excuse me?"
mm, it's hard, you know, it is. But I guess it's two sides, you know. They see that I'm really happy doing what I dream, and breaking not just records, paradigms, like many things. And then in the other side is like, I have friends, or I have photos with friends that I'm the only one that is alive. So it's really hard. Yeah, it's a high cost to pay.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm sure most of the Latino women that I know, the moms just want, hey, have a family, just
Yeah,
just
be
cook,
normal,
just
please.
just cook and eat and be happy and family. Why do you got to do all that?
I know. I don't know. You know, when I was 30, before climbing, I was working. I had a boyfriend that I was gonna get married, and
And your
everything
mom
was
was
like,
happy.
and my mom was pretty happy. Yes. I think now she's happy with the things that I'm doing, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Also, I'm proving that you don't have to follow what they tell you, that it's like a successful life. There's many other ways to do it.
Give my listeners a kind of what's your educational background?
Well, business administration,
Yeah.
and then I start working in the manufacturing industry with auto parts, with manufacturing auto parts. And I did a master in engineering, something that I'd never imagined doing. And then I start like just get going with the flow, you know, with the and I was happy. Like I had a challenge at work, but something was missing.
Yeah.
And I start doing a 10K race. That's how I started exercising, like formal or at the age of 28. So no big expectations too.
Yeah, none.
And then, I don't know, at the age of 30, I did my first mountain. And then 4 years later, I was breaking records. I was in Everest. I was in K2. And it was, I don't know, part of my journey or my story that there's no age to start. There's no path that you have to follow, because mine was totally different. I didn't start as a child or like as a kid, or
Yeah.
didn't have any certifications or courses or anything formal.
Oh, and
I just,
it wasn't like your mom and dad were climbers and you just became, it's like out of nowhere.
not at all.
Yeah.
No, they didn't even do exercise.
Uh, Is it everything you expected? Are you happy with it? With the
I
climbing and the lifestyle?
Yeah, I think I don't regret anything,
Perfect.
because for many years, it took me 8 years to finish the 14 peaks and become the first woman in the whole continent to accomplish that. 8 years. And in those years, it was hard to have a relationship
Yeah.
because I was all the time going to expeditions, and then my professional life, I had to put it on hold.
Yeah.
My family, everything. So I don't regret it, but I think I'm very aware that every dream or goal, uh, it has a cost. It has a cost that you have to pay.
And I think that's super important, and then not just for females, but a 30-year-old who has, I mean, a master's in engineering and working doesn't just go, I'm going to quit that and just start climbing mountains, unless you just quit and start climbing mountains. I mean,
You know, it was, everyone thinks that it was like, it was just one day and I heard a voice, or a light, like, I don't know how you call it, like,
yeah,
wow, yeah, I want to do it. I'll do it. It was step by step, slowly, slowly, but with this feeling inside that I wanted to do it. I didn't know why. I still wondering why, right? Why you go there where you had to pay, you
yeah,
had to risk your life, you can die. It's a lot of pain, like physical pain, mental pain. Like, why you go there? So I think that the big fire that everyone has inside, that we call it passion,
yeah,
and it could be in many ways. Mine is climbing mountains. Others could be being a doctor, at work, at home, at non-profit, many ways.
yep.
But yeah.
You, you're doing it. I mean, that's amazing, though. Do you ever sit back and think, wow, like holy smokes?
The only tattoo that I have is this one, that it's Dios, Destino y Pasión. That is God, destiny, and passion. And those are the words that I said on top of K2.
Okay.
K2 is the second highest peak in the world in Pakistan, and is one of the most dangerous ones. Like, many people die there.
Yeah.
And when I decided to go there, it was just a few girls who has done it, and none from Latin America. So for me, I just had a few years of experience, and I didn't know why I wanted to go. And for me, I think it's part of this, like, it's kind of a destiny. Sometimes I feel that someone sent me there.
Yeah, that's so cool. I mean, that's not many people can say that they follow their passion. A lot of people will just go to a job and they won't pursue that inside gut feeling telling them to do something spectacular.
Totally agree. And it's a journey. It's hard because sometimes we don't have, like, the environment to go and be encouraged to go and find our passion.
Yeah.
Like social media is telling us how is to be successful, what is happening, what is happiness, and so there's a lot of garbage around.
Right.
And to be able to listen to yourself and to say, well, what I want is to do this. They don't pay well. It's risky, maybe, but I want to do it.
Yeah.
So it takes courage to do it.
And
Yeah.
then some. Yeah. I know you do some public speaking already. Uh, how enjoyable is that for you now?
Oh, it's a gift, because now sharing my story to others, and it's not about that I'm encouraging people to climb,
No, no.
to find the way to accomplish their goals. So for me, it really is very grateful. I feel very grateful
Yeah.
doing that, and also to become part of others' stories.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get messages that, oh, I start running, I did my first
Oh, nice.
miles, thank you, and like I didn't do anything, I'm just doing what I love. And if someone can feel that and can make a difference
Yeah.
in their actions, for me, it's wow,
That's got to be
it's
the best feeling.
more than any record.
Yeah. Do you ever come up to like California and in the United States to do your speaking?
Not yet. Hopefully soon.
Well, we got to make that happen.
I know.
You could speak in Spanish even. It doesn't matter here. How-
Algún día.
That's all we got to do, right?
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll figure that out next. You know, when you travel and how much prep it goes into it? Like, do you start eating differently when you're getting ready for a climb? Because how does that work?
You know, when I started, I sent so many emails to alpine clubs, to
Yeah.
people who I knew that they were on Everest, and I didn't get that many answers.
Oh, really?
So what I found is what I was watching in YouTube and Google and how
Yeah.
to climb Everest. So it was, for me, the way to learn. It was um, to try what is better for me, what it works for me. So I did many mistakes
Of course.
in that, but I also learned what kind of food was best for me, what kind of training I could use, and so it was kind of uh, I don't know, like a self-learning.
Yeah.
Instead of learning from others, I said, okay, I'm gonna try these before the training, and I'll see if I feel more energy.
Yeah.
So I'll eat a banana, or I eat protein, and I start doing that. But yeah, you had to change something. It's some
No,
people
no
ask me,
tortas.
no tortas,
Ah,
no burritos, no.
good.
No, you have to give something. You have to give something. So it's part of the cost to
Yeah.
pay. I always say that. So you had to train, you had to keep healthy, motivated,
Yeah.
and there's many, many adjustments that you had to do. And there's many ways. I always, when they ask me what kind of training do you recommend, I always say do what you love, as much as you have like cardio
Yeah.
and strength, like that's enough.
The just I'm curious because Antarctica was shorter than Everest, obviously, but it had to be colder, I would think.
It
So like,
is.
they, how does your body deal with the cold? I mean, that's the worst part for me.
The body, it's a machine,
Yeah.
and the mind, it's, you cannot believe what is capable of doing. So obviously being -40,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what, like, but for me, like being prepared, like with good equipment
Yeah.
and knowing myself, that's the key part. And I always say also that it doesn't matter how big is your, like your muscle of the legs or arms, or how strong you are. The one that is gonna move that muscle is here. So the mental training and preparation sometimes is more important than the physical.
How do you train for that? The mental part.
It's kind of like if you train for 3 months, you'll have your muscle big
Yeah.
and good. And if you stop training, it doesn't matter how big it is, it will be gone, like it will disappear. So same for the mind. If you don't train every day, it will go. So
Oh,
to have that in mind, that okay, what I'm gonna do to train my mind. Sometimes like um your thoughts, what you're thinking, it's also like training. Like
yeah.
sometimes our mind is like a horse running everywhere and we don't even realize that. So meditation, yoga, all those kind of things, it'll make you take the I don't know how you call it, when you're
Focus.
writing,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
then
okay.
you'll say, okay, I'm in charge
Yeah.
of my of what am I thinking, my thoughts. So it's every day,
You
every
take
moment.
it's called taking the reins
Yes,
on the horse, taking the reins on the horse and guiding it. Yeah, that makes sense. That's crazy. I, do you think when you speak to younger people, is that the part that they get, or I mean, because I think the mental part is the most important part.
mhm.
Yet they might go, well, I just need to get in shape. Oh, I just need to be able to exercise or run, but then they don't know that they have to get their brain right.
And we don't see the importance of what we give to the brain.
Yeah.
Like we see that if we have salad and vegetables and good protein, and we'll get strong. But what about what we give to our brain? What kind of like with social media especially, what kind of content we're giving to our brain? It's also the food of our thinking.
Yeah.
So that for me, it's also very important what I say, what I see with the people who I talk. Everything is very important.
See, that's that goes for almost everything you want to be a success in. I mean, not just climbing, but I mean, you should always hang around people that want the best for you.
Totally. And sometimes it's kind of like we want different results, or we want the extraordinary
Yeah.
doing the ordinary, and it is not how it's
It
accomplished.
doesn't work
You
that way.
have to do extra. Always you have to do extra, extra, extra.
What's the extra for you? Like what?
For me for me will be like even dreaming. When I decided to do the 14 peaks, at that moment it was just three women who have done it. One from Spain, from Austria,
Uh-huh.
and the other from Italy. And same list of women that have accomplished many things. We have the list of astronauts,
Mm,
65 women in space. For me, in statistics, it was easier to become an astronaut than to become part of the list of the
yeah.
40. And for me, it was like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll try. And for me, that's what it's how I feel that I success.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter if I get to the summit or not. What it matters is how many times I try. For me, that's failure, not trying.
Well, and
So
you put yourself in a position to succeed though. I mean, that's always part of the battle. I mean,
Yeah, for me, that's the extra, you know?
yeah,
If I'm dreaming to become part of that list, okay, I know that I had to do many, many other things.
yeah.
So okay, it's kind of that's the extra that I have to do.
And obviously I don't know. Is climbing a big sport in Mexico, or is it not?
No.
Okay.
You know, it's not even, I don't know, it's hard to call it a sport because we don't have any federation.
I know,
We
but
are
what else do you call
in
it?
the Olympics.
An
I
event?
mean, part,
What do you call it? I mean, it's a sport, right?
but it is because it involves like physical
Yeah, and mental.
but we I mean we don't go to the Olympics.
Yeah, not yet.
Now it is, but it's just like
Yeah,
climbing
the rock climbing. Yeah,
walls. It's not like Everest. Like those are not regulated. So for me, it's a passion. It's my profession now because it's not that I get paid for climbing, but I get paid for sponsors, and now is how I do it. But professionally, I don't get paid for climbing, so
yeah.
it's kind of yeah.
So how important are sponsors?
Oh my God, it's everything. For me, it's, you know, when I quit, I said, okay, I'll do my own business. You know, I will open a consulting firm, and I started from nothing,
Yeah,
and it was hard. And then expeditions are very expensive. Like for Everest, you can pay around 50 to $100,000. So, and some people pay more. If
yeah,
you can pay more, you will go with a fancy company, and then you pay $200,000. For me, I went with locals, with
yeah.
Nepalese, and it was like the cheapest, right? And that's what I was able to afford. But Sherpas are amazing, and I did well. But yeah, sponsors is everything, you know. I've been working with Mexican companies that without them, I wouldn't be doing any of these expeditions. And I have Electrolit, Flexi, like companies that really they're not looking for just likes or social media or exposure. They're really interested in inspiring others.
That's what I got from Electrolit. I mean, they were definitely into the
Yeah.
bigger picture.
And then it's part of my everyday. It's for me it's very important also to be with companies that we have the same values. It's super important for me.
How do you deal with the jet lag? Like when if you're in Mexico City and you go to Nepal, that's the other. It's another day. It's a different day.
It is, but you know it for me it's always I'm very excited to I've been in Nepal for around 12 times, and I know very well around
Now you do.
the
Yeah.
so for me it's kind of like I don't know, the body and the mind is like I always before getting in the plane I change my watch and
Okay.
so
I
for
do that
me
too. That's exactly what I do when I get on.
you get to the into the plane and like now my time is this,
The next
so
time. Yep.
easy to adjust, and it's everything here,
Yeah, so I do the exact same thing. Because
right?
once I get on the plane, I feel I've already left home, and now I need to be where I need to be. So
Totally.
yeah, that's interesting. I like that. Uh, how important is it staying hydrated for you? I mean,
Well,
that's gotta be
you
it.
know, for me, I cannot eat before climbing because what happens in altitude, it's the blood goes to the most important organs in the body.
Right.
Like it goes to the heart, to the lungs, to the brain. So the stomach goes second. So if you eat something you need a blood to digest. So for me, it's like I take hours. I like so I cannot eat, but and it's fine. I cannot eat in days, but not drinking, it's the worst for me. So I know myself, and I had to drink lots of water and electrolyte and whatever to stay good.
Because I've heard that it really helps, hydrating yourself helps with like migraines and headaches. And I got to imagine when you're getting up in altitude that you got to keep your brain hydrated.
Most important thing it is.
Yeah, that's crazy. Have you had any injuries?
Wow, if you see some of my photos
Yeah.
after summit, I'm destroyed.
Yeah.
My lips are like, and you can see like one of the key things to know how is your body with the water. It's before getting dry your lips, like before getting something in your lips, um, or let me put it again. If you have like damage in your lips, you are already dehydrated.
Uh-huh.
The-
Yeah, yeah.
So you had to be very aware of not having anything in your lips
Uh-huh.
to know that you are okay with water.
So you don't
Too
coat all
late.
the stuff on so you can see. I gotcha.
Yeah, it's too late. If you have something in your lips, like dry lips, it's too late.
You're already dehydrated.
Exactly.
I like that. Okay. Yeah. Do you are you looking for sponsors outside of Mexico? I mean, you could go after like Los Altos or Quadra. You go, or do you care?
No. I'm totally open. Like the only thing that I always trying to do is to not to have any like beer or
Yeah.
something that it doesn't goes with me or with that I don't use. So always the brand that I with me, it's something thing.
Oh, we froze there. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, you just came back. Are you there? Oh, you froze again. I'll clip that little pause out. Do you think does it help you being in Mexico City with the altitude there? Because I mean, you're pretty high there.
Yeah, it's 2000. I think it helps totally. My hometown is also this altitude, so I think it helps.
And I know a lot of fighters will go down to, like when they have to fight in Mexico City, they go down early, like a month, just to get used to the altitude of Mexico City.
Yes.
So that's got to help you.
And here it's a paradise for mountains because in 2 hours you are in a big mountain.
Yeah.
So it's so nice.
What do you do after you summit everything? What's next?
I'm working in a book and also in a documentary. So
Okay.
we are like um talking to platforms
Yeah.
for this documentary.
And we froze again. Hmm. Whenever we're doing video calls, I'm talking to Mexico City via satellite, so it's always I don't get too upset about it, you know. But so you have a documentary coming up and a book. That's going to be exciting. Is that nervous?
uh I don't know. It's kind of like for so many years when people when people were telling me, oh, you had to have a book, and it was like, no, not yet, not yet. After the record, no, not yet. After the 14 peaks, it's like, oh my god. And then it's okay, maybe it's time to share. So yes, I'm excited.
When do you think that'll come out?
next year.
25?
Yes,
That's gonna be exciting though.
it is. Yes.
Yeah, what are your expectations of the documentary?
You know, to share how is in the big mountains also, like how is to be on Everest and other mountains, but also if you know, it's kind of a story that is not the typical one that a little girl started doing something and then she became something big. And no, it's a woman at the age of 30 who started climbing and then
Out of nowhere.
later. Yes.
And now you have Guinness
Mm,
records.
yes.
Yeah, that's a great story. So how do you get a documentary made? Does somebody come to you? Did they come to you and say, "Hey, we'd like to start filming you"?
Yes, and we did some filming in my last 8,000 meter.
Okay.
I did it without oxygen. Actually, a few days ago, it was my first anniversary of that.
Wow.
So looking at the videos, you're like, oh my God.
I saw the pictures with the ice and snow on your eyelashes, but you were
And all
smiling.
like big.
You were smiling, but you were cold.
I was cold. But yeah. And then so we did some recording during the last expedition,
Okay.
and I have 10 years of videos.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. It's a lot of material over 17 expeditions in the Himalayas.
Yeah. So do you have an editor or do you have say in
Yeah, we have a production company who is dealing with these platforms to see. There's two interested, big ones, and just hoping for the best.
that's so amazing though. That's do you expect to have like the movie premieres and do all that kind of thing?
I guess it will be in like if it's Netflix or Amazon or
Whoever, yeah.
yeah. So hopefully that.
You go from engineer at an auto factory to your own movie premiere. It'd be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Wow.
Pretty inspiring, you know. I mean, not just to women. I mean, anybody in Mexico that doesn't think about mountain climbing, you can whether you're a boy or a girl, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's not because that's not something that's really common down there, I would think.
No, no, no. You know, there's no many people doing this or many
Yeah,
women doing this. Not even in the States.
exactly.
You know the story of the two Americans who died last year?
In
Uh,
Yellowstone or at
but
Yosemite?
no, it was in the Himalayas. They
Oh,
were
okay.
also finishing the 14 peaks.
Ooh,
And so the three of us, we were competing to become the first woman in the continent. And I did it in September and October. They were climbing their last 14 peak and they died in an avalanche, the two of them. So now there's no American who is close to get there. So it's kind of like, how come? You have a lot of talent. You
yeah,
have, yeah.
because it's crazy. Mucho loco. Cabeza no bueno.
It is, yeah. You have to have a little of that to accomplish that.
Well, I mean, because I've been like Mount Whitney here in California. I
Yeah.
think it's I don't know, 12,000 feet, maybe something like that. I'm like, no, no. Oh,
Why?
exactly. That's why I said why. But there you have it. It's I think because I don't have any desire to, I can appreciate when I watch the documentaries and I'm like, oh my God, you know, that's after you do the 14, are there any summits you'd like to do that maybe that aren't over 8,000 meters that just personally you're like, ah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yes, you know, we were talking about Carstens, my next expedition in Indonesia.
Yeah.
There's no woman who has climbed 14 peaks and 7 summits in history. So for me, just to think that I could be that woman,
Yeah.
it's wow. It's crazy. It's crazy that me at the age of 30 who started with a small peak, and so why not one from the Alps,
Yeah.
or I don't know. For me, it's crazy, and I'm very excited about that summit and that mountain, and to have that new record, Guinness record.
You know, no one can ever take that away from you.
Aha, that exactly.
You know, that's how I look. I
Uh-huh.
started the podcast in my 50s. I had never recorded myself doing this. And I was like, why not? Kind of like you in your 30s going, yeah, let me, and little steps,
Mhm.
but it's the same thing. No one can ever take this interview away. It'll be out on the internet. It'll be out there and people will see it. They'll get inspired by your story. So it's awesome. And you'll never see it.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. But what's next after the documentary, after the book? How
I
do
don't
you
know.
how
Maybe,
do you set up your life to
maybe having a boyfriend.
going back to your mom
That's
now?
yeah, I don't know, maybe. But it's kind of I always said that after the 14 peaks, I mean, after last year, I was gonna stop and I was gonna get a boyfriend, and then it was like, okay, now it's time. And then like, okay, I want to keep climbing and I want to. So I don't know. And I like not to have plans for everything,
Yeah.
I also have a nonprofit for mental health,
Well, nice.
and doing that,
What's that called?
meditating. Oh,
What's that called?
líderes de altura. It's like, how could be the translation? Like,
Living with altitude, I think, or something. Right?
yeah,
I,
leaders.
I had the translation. I can't find it.
Yeah, I mean, in Spanish will be something different, but it's we help um people from my town. It's the highest percentage of suicides. So we go to schools, like public schools with low income, and we take like psychologists,
Mm-hmm.
and give them, like, help them. So it's really nice work what we do, and we raise also money for that. And it's another mountain, big mountain for me. So that's something that I want to continue.
Yeah. And you can do that even when you're not climbing mountains.
Uh-huh, totally.
Yeah. So that's gonna be awesome. You got a lot of great things going on.
Yes.
The boyfriend, not so much, but
We're working on that. Don't worry.
I was going to ask you outside of just the boyfriend because I travel for my job.
Mhm,
I'm gone 120 days a year. Most of everyone I've talked to on my show travel for work.
mhm.
And it's a struggle just with family. Birthdays and quinceañeras and all of a sudden you're gone. It's like how have you dealt with that?
I haven't been in many important events of my family in the
Yeah,
last years. So it's hard, obviously,
yeah,
but for me, like this year, I said I'll be in every big event for my family and for me. So I decided not to travel so much and to give more time with my family. So
yeah.
it's always like try
Balance.
to balance and decide. I always said that when you decide a path, you reject many others.
Yeah,
So for me, if when I was very aware that I was going for the mountains, deciding for the mountains, and I reject being in many
weddings, the birthdays.
uh, So
Yeah.
now it's all the way around, I don't want to go climbing. I prefer to go with the family. So
Good luck.
hard.
Yeah, hard, right?
I know.
Yeah, because I used to have to work at the rodeo, and it's always when my daughter's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
But like I have to work.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't get to schedule that.
Yeah.
So you make it special when you get home.
Yes.
That'd be fun though. Any plans for children?
I don't know. Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's see.
I'd be curious to see how someone that achieves so much, how do you not impress upon that with your children? Like you're going to be the world famous Guinness Book World Record alpinist, and then you still got to be mom.
For so many years, it was part of the plan. And yeah, when I finish, I'll have kids. When I finish, and now it's kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just wondering if I want them because it was part of you know, the path
Yeah, yeah.
that
That you're
follow.
supposed to be. Yeah,
Or if I really want it. So I'm in that situation.
I gotcha. Uh, why do you think suicides are so high from your hometown?
Oof, there's many things, but social, like families, I don't know how you call it, but like social dysfunction.
Expectations?
Yeah, and dysfunction families, and it's a lot of things going on around.
Yeah,
But it's a big issue. It's not like the thing that we are avoiding is suicides, but in between, there's many things with mental health, with kids and people
yeah,
that we're trying to do, to give more information, to encourage people going to therapy, because there's still, I'm not crazy, right? What I'm gonna go if I'm not crazy? So still here in Mexico and in low income um like areas,
yeah, communities. Yeah,
that's a taboo. So we're working on that.
that's good though. I mean that because and it's not just low income, but I mean, and mental health is you got to take care of it.
Totally, yes.
So
Yeah.
that's I mean that to me that's the bigger picture than just climbing a mountain, right? Yeah, you climb the mountain so you can help build a nonprofit, which will help people. If you save somebody from actually committing suicide, it was worth it.
Yes.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
So what else do you have coming up for the rest of the year?
I wanted to go to the Sao Pole, but it's so expensive. So I'm still working on that.
Okay.
Um, but no, there's many things
Is
to do
that
here.
just to go to the South Pole?
Just to go to the Sao Pole is like $90,000. 10 days.
Grand a day. Wow.
It is. So at least for me,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I'm still thinking about going to Everest again, but now without oxygen, supplementary oxygen. Crazy, I know, but it's still in my mind from a few years ago, and I don't know. It's still calling. I don't know. So I'll see. Let's see for next
How
year.
many people summit now without oxygen
Women, it has just been 9
total?
total in history.
Why do you want to do that?
I don't know. I don't know. A voice inside of me is telling me to go. No, no. It's funny, but I really feel it inside. For me, I once heard that passion is when you are doing something and without any reason, your heart start beating faster.
Yeah.
So for me, is that like I'm start talking about mountains. I like so it's kind of like
Oh, yeah.
it's not in my mind. It's here. So it's always when I talk to people and they tell me, oh, I haven't found my passion, and just start trying to do new things
Yep.
and just pay attention when your heart start beating faster.
That's a good call. What's the best way for my listeners to follow up with you? Like, is it Instagram? Do you want people to?
Yeah, Instagram.
Okay.
I'm more connected with Instagram, and it's fun because I share day by day during expeditions,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's really nice.
That's where you put out all the documentary and the book and all that, though, right?
Yes,
As well, you have a nice website too, though.
thank you.
Yeah. So I'll make sure to put links on everything for the website and then what other sponsors do you have right now? I know you have Electrolit.
I have Electrolit and Flexi, that is a boot company,
Okay.
Mexican team. I'm part of the family of GoPro and Specialized, the bikes. And those are, those are the products that I use and
Yeah.
that I love. And that I'm so happy and I feel so lucky to be with them. And yeah, I'm open for more sponsors.
Hey, you want to get the South
So,
Pole?
to the South Pole, please.
Who would be a good sponsor for that? I think you got to get some of your equipment companies, the jackets or the carabiners or whatever, the ropes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll make that work.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
All good. Well, thank you so much. And so I'll just have my fans follow you on your Instagram and see what you have come. When is the last summit?
Next one will be in a couple weeks. We're still waiting for the permit, but for sure will be October.
October. Wow. Okay. And that'll be the last one. That'll be the 14th.
And I hope to talk to you again, but now talking about the new Guinness record.
Yeah, and the movie,
And the movie. Yes.
after you summit and when the movie's coming out, we'll talk again.
Yes, for
You did
sure.
your premiere up here in Los Angeles.
Nice. I would love to.
See, we'll make that all happen. Then you can start doing speaking engagements up here. Because I think your story would resonate. I mean, obviously we have a very high Hispanic percentage here in Los Angeles and San Diego. And so it'd be great for you to motivate the girls that are here that maybe think they can't do that.
I would love to.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So we gotta make that happen.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for sharing my story. Also
Absolutely.
for being part of it. Yes.
I have to get you a sombrero or something, right?
Sure.
You're like, okay. Well, that's what I do. I sell cowboy stuff.
Oh, really?
Sell
I love
cowboy.
it.
I sell botas for Stetson.
Uh-huh.
Sell botas and pantalones and camasitas and chalecos, chamadas, sombreros.
Nice. I used to be in a escaramuza when I was like 14, 15 years.
There you go.
Mm.
Yeah. So we have to get you. I think your stories would be perfect for so many people, though.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I hope you get to keep sharing it. So thank you for your time.
Thank you and hope to talk to you soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Didi.